You're listening to the OMG Hour.
It is May 10th, 2018, and this is the OMG Hour, episode number 295. And of course, I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place, back from my brief sports ball hiatus.
And now that you're back, Jeff is gone. I don't know what's going on with you two.
Listen,
are you having a spat? Are you?
So here's what happened. I was offered the opportunity to go to a basketball playoff game for free, which doesn't happen. Does not happen very often.
Well,
so I
noticed that your team lost.
Oh yeah. They lost a lot of games very, very quickly.
And is that because you were there?
No, because I wasn't at the other three games that they lost very, very quickly. So I can't be fully blamed for that. But
we can blame you.
I'm sure people have. Somebody did blame me on Facebook, actually. They said it was my fault.
So in Jeff's absence today, JJ Mahoney is online giving us the finger guns. So we got our finger guns. That's good. Thanks.
I thought you were going to say giving us the finger. I thought you were just going to stop there.
Well, it is a finger of a sort. So
yeah.
You know. So yes, Jeff's not here tonight. He's got some family stuff to take care of, and you are here because there's no sports stuff to take care of tonight.
I mean, there's family stuff, but it's in the other room, and so if it's quiet for the hour, then we're in good shape. If not, we'll have a third guest host possibly popping in here.
Excellent.
So we'll see how that goes.
A surprise guest. Well, on that note, then, why don't I start off because I actually played nothing this week. I played God of War. But I've talked about that for like 3 weeks in a row now. There's probably not much left to say other than it's still a great game, really enjoying it, and it's fantastic. And I do want to say I did pick up a new toy this week. This was thanks to Maniac17 on Twitter. So on May 4th, of course, Star Wars Day, he purchased a few things. They arrived that day, but one of them was not a Star Wars thing. It was a Mega Bloks 3,100 piece set of the USS Enterprise 1701, the original. 3,100 pieces. This is right up my alley for a Lego-style building toy. I love Star Trek. Everyone knows I love Star Trek and Star Wars equally. So I ended up purchasing it. It's sitting right here behind me. This is a massive box. 3,100 pieces of the Enterprise.
Well, technically, isn't it 3,099?
Well, it's 3,098 pieces, but mine came with 3,097 pieces. Very early in the building process last night, I came across a missing piece that prevented me from continuing to build the hull of the ship. Luckily, I realized as I was thinking about it today that the way the instructions have been set up, it's built in basically 3 parts.
Yeah.
So I moved on to the saucer section, and I'll wait for the piece to arrive that I've ordered. But it's just it's frustrating because in all of my years of building Lego, I have never had a missing piece in a Lego set.
Well, no, Lego, you have extra at the end to really figure out what the heck did I miss?
Exactly.
Why do I have these extra pieces?
There's always extra pieces in Lego. I have 2 Mega Block sets. We've seen it. Last year I'm pointing at it in the video now, I bought the Destiny ship.
Yeah.
There was a piece missing there, too. I have in my life bought 2 Mega Block sets, and both sets had missing pieces.
Come on, Mega Bloks, get your stuff together.
This is why Mega Bloks is the poor stepchild of Lego.
Yeah. They got to do better. I mean, they do have some cool licenses.
Oh, they do, yeah.
I believe Mega Bloks has the Star Trek, obviously Destiny. They believe they have
Halo.
Is it Transformers, I think?
No,
yeah.
Transformers is Kinects.
Is it Kinects?
Yeah, it's a different brand.
I thought I saw.
No, not Kinects. Something else. It's not Mega Bloks, though.
Okay.
And then they've also got Call of Duty, which is really weird for a kid's toy.
Oh yeah, and I've seen Assassin's Creed as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
It's the same. Whoever does a Call of Duty does Assassin's Creed one as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm in the midst of building the Enterprise, and you know what? It's funny because I let me tell you the quick story about how I bought it because I ended up buying it from the States. So in the States, it's $77 US, which is really good for a 3,100 piece set, right?
Yeah, that's really good.
Plus shipping and tax duty to Canada. They take care of duty when shipping to Canada, which is great. And it basically came to $100 US. Okay, $132 or something Canadian total.
Yeah.
When I went to Amazon.ca for the same model, minimum $190.
Yeah.
What? So I ended
Amazon is not great for a lot of these things.
No, I ended up ordering it from the States, and I still had it in 3 days. Shipping from the States for almost $100 cheaper than I would have paid in Canada.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that is my saga of my new Mega Bloks Enterprise. I did not play any other games this week, so I'm going to hand it over to you to regale us.
Bad about missing, so I played a bunch of stuff this week just because I felt bad. Plus, I heard you guys did a review for my baseball game.
We did, but I'd like you to confirm that what we said was correct.
Well, I don't watch a show if I'm not on it. It's not interesting if I'm not here.
This is true. You're probably right.
We'll talk brief. Let's talk a little bit about Super Mega Baseball 2.
I think it's actually more accurately pronounced Super Mega Large-Headed Baseball Guys 2. That's what we determined last week. Yes,
I think that might be the subtitle of it.
Yeah.
So this is a follow-up to, obviously, Super Mega Baseball 1. This came out as a free games with gold. Free games with gold.
Yeah. Free in quotes.
Free with subscription to Xbox. It is actually a really fun baseball game. It is it's sort of bare bones, sort of Little League-esque characters. They all have giant heads and ridiculous muscles, and they're all like jacked up with silly mustaches and stuff like that.
So these are the Chun. This is the Chun-Li of baseball.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
This is fun, and it's basically you pick your pitch, you throw your pitch, you aim your pitch. That's about it, and then you hit the ball every once in a while, and it's just a fun little time waster. It's a quick little fun baseball game, and if you have gold, I believe it is free for the entire month for those who have gold.
If you like baseball.
Free. If you like, it doesn't. Even if you don't like baseball, it's still free.
It is still free.
I mean, it may not be worth it for you to get if you don't like baseball, but it is still free even if you don't like baseball.
Awesome.
They don't charge the people who don't like baseball, but it is a fun game. I know that you and Jeff are not big on the sports titles, but for what you get for a baseball game, there aren't too many options out there right now for a good, solid, baseball game. You're going to basically get MLB The Show on the PlayStation. Or you're going to get an arcadey type one. So there's this Super Mega Baseball, this one, or RBI Baseball are the two sort of arcadey offerings. RBI Baseball uses the real MLB teams. This is sort of like made up teams, like the Badgers and the Wolverines and all sorts of.
And the Super Mega Large-Headed Baseball Guys.
And everybody has like gigantic heads, and they look like they're on like steroids of the head. Is what happens.
Now, I understand you played a game based on our trip back from PAX last year.
I did. So this is actually a game. We briefly talked about this a few weeks ago because it was delayed. The release was delayed due to the incident in Toronto with the guy who ran up on the sidewalk and killed some people. But so this is finally released. It is called Death Road to Canada. It is... I believe it is purely based off of our trip back.
It must be.
So it is an RPG hack and slash type 3-bit. I don't know how many bits would you say. We need Jeff. We need Jeff here to tell us how many bits.
There's definitely a few bits here going on.
Yeah. So you play the leader of a group of people who are in a station wagon on their way to Canada during the zombie apocalypse. Or these just could be
on the way home from PAX.
Convention goers. I mean, I don't know. These people have PAX flu, I think.
The PAX Pox. I think these guys have the PAX Pox, and we were fighting them on the way home so that we would not ourselves become infected.
Yeah. So you basically you're driving around. You have to pick spots that you're going to stop, so that it'll give you an option
for hand chicken.
For hand chicken, like, do you want to stop for hand chicken? At one point, so the character I created here, and again, it's 3-bit, so it's kind of hard to tell. But the main character I've created is Sean, as you can see there.
And he has glasses and
his glasses and
no hair.
no hair, and so you go around and it's a beat 'em up, classic beat 'em up. But so you have to drive around to these different areas and get supplies for your trip, and you drive around. So at certain points it asks you to make some decisions. So at one point we were camped out, and a moose started glaring at us over the campfire. And it gives you the option, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to have this character shoot it? And I'm like, well, I don't want to waste bullets. Do you want to, leave it alone? Let's do that. And the third option was to have Sean wrestle the moose.
Oh, no.
So
Did you make me wrestle the moose?
I made you wrestle a moose. And I will tell you, Sean, and it's a good thing that I did, too, because now you know, should you ever be in a situation with a moose, it did not end well for you.
Oh, good. Oh, thanks very much.
So,
what happened to me?
Yeah.
Did I die?
Injured. No, you didn't die, but you were injured in the moose incident, as we call it from now on, the moose incident.
Do you get to name the other characters?
You can create as many, there's, I think, spots for 50 different custom characters. You can create as many characters as you want. I played this really quickly, so I went through the creator tool to create Sean. Because it's 8-bit, Sean is actually a bald, bespectacled woman in here, because I didn't realize where the gender button was on there.
Come on. What are you trying to say, Tico? What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say you'd look good in a dress, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I do what I can.
So, so it's you have to stop in certain areas. I did not survive much of this. As you can see, there's the Sean there with that little blinking, almost no health heart there. That is because of your moose damage.
Damage of the moose.
Yeah, damage of the moose. It's a fun little game. It gives you these little choices as you get to each steps. Like, do you want to go look in this office building, or do you want to go to this gas station or the supermarket? I think that one of the places I went to try to find some food was the Y'all Mart.
The Y'all Mart?
Y'all Mart.
Instead of Walmart?
Yeah. It's Y''ALL, the Y'all Mart.
Y'all. But that's not Canadian. It should have been the A Mart.
Well, that's a death road to Canada. So you're
gotcha. Okay.
Canada is the safe place.
It's the destination.
Yeah, that is where you're going. I think it's because in Canada they assume it's so cold that the zombies will just freeze in their tracks. Because,
obviously.
Yeah, so it'll be a safe place. So I went to hide out in this little motel room here and died quite quickly because it was not a smart place to go. It's sort of you really get hit with a lot of them there.
And now Sean is all alone and crying.
Yeah, I think that's sweating. I think you're just sweating profusely there.
I think I'm sad that person is dead.
Yeah, so I tried to leave. I thought you could leave. You can't. And Sean also.
Oh, you killed me!
Was murdered by the PAX box.
Well, I'm going to rage and get justice for my death.
You should. So I will recreate Sean, and I'll throw a Jeff and a Tico in there. We'll create the whole gang and see how we do in...
So in the sequel, I'm going to get Raging Justice.
You will. So Raging Justice is basically Streets of Rage with prettier skin on it.
It's a very pretty skinned Streets of Rage.
Yeah, and that's exactly all it is. It's I don't know what they call that type of game. It's like the Double Dragon type
side-scrolling brawler.
Beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up, yeah.
And it has some elements of Narc. Do you remember the game Narc way back in the day? The arcade game Narc?
I don't know.
Oh, well, there was an arcade game named Narc, and so you go through it. At each level, you have to beat guys up. You find, you kill guys, and they drop hamburgers and other food and stuff like that.
Because that's what they do.
That's usually in the gang fights you see. That's what starts most gang fights. Is people going, that guy might have a hamburger.
Well, and I want your hamburger.
Yeah.
Hand over the hamburger and no one gets hurt.
Yeah, so at each level there's also the opportunity to arrest some of the certain guys. It'll tell you at the beginning of the level, like, hey, this guy here, so as you see she's got the glowing stars above her, she's arrestable right now. I didn't realize that, and I killed her. But you can
just
arrest...
like you killed me.
Yes, I've murdered a lot of people this week. But it is exactly that. It is side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's fun. It is exactly what you would expect it to be if you've ever played Double Dragon, Streets of Rage, any of those things. Final Fight, I believe.
So is it literally Streets of Rage, or is it just that genre?
It's that genre, so it is not. It's called Raging Justice, which is obviously a take on Streets of Rage. It is new characters and stuff like that, so it is in that genre. It pays homage to that.
Okay, gotcha.
To that game. It's not a direct remake or anything like that.
All right, cool.
And then there's special enemies and stuff like that. At the end of the one level, I had to beat up a pimp who after he took so much damage, he'd just spin around with his pimp cane and try to hit you.
And you have no problems beating up women by the looks of it.
Those are all not women, Sean.
Oh, they're like me in the other game. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they're all Sean's.
They're all.
So it's okay. Listen, they started it. Let's go with that.
Okay.
They were resisting arrest.
So what were you trying to get from them? Were you trying to find all 9 parchments?
Every single one of them. Every single parchment. So this is an older game, probably about 2 or 3 months old. It is you play a wizard who is trying to graduate wizard school.
And to clarify, the name of the game is 9 Parchments.
It is called 9 Parchments. And at the very beginning, you're trying to get your graduating of wizard school. Something happens and the wall blows up, and all the parchments that you need that have all the spells as you move forward, they all get sort of blown away in the wind. And so
after you beat up all those people to get them, they blow away.
Yeah, they blow away, and then you get there. And now you have to go and find the parchments
on another road trip.
Yes, but this is not Canada, I don't think. There's not nearly enough snow. So this one here is a sort of top-down Diablo-esque dual-stick shootery type game. But you play as a wizard, and you cycle through different magic spells. There's the sort of rock, paper, scissors elements to it. So you have fire enemies you have to hit with ice enemies you have to hit with fire, and then you have this other thing, which I don't really know what it does, but it seems to do damage. It's like some mystical arcane grenade or something like that.
Oh, okay. If they're standing in that area?
I think.
It's probably it's probably an area of effect spell.
Yeah, so I haven't figured out exactly how to use that one yet. Very pretty game. Kind of fun. You have to find different robes, different weapons, different hats for your witch or wizard. As you go through, you unlock different characters as you go through to play through. They each have some different spells that you can use. And unlock more and more spells as you continue through.
Cool. It looks pretty. It's definitely a pretty looking game. You said this was older though?
It's about 2 or 3 months, I think.
Oh, okay. You just haven't played it yet, or you just got it?
It was on sale.
Oh, okay, yeah. I always watch the sales. Whenever there's a game that I want to buy, I put it in my wish list on PlayStation, and I just watch for the sales. I just go to my wish list and I see, okay, is anything on sale? And I consider, is it worth $12 now, or when it's regular $20? I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
That's exactly. I think this was a regular $25 and it was down to $10 or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try, and it's actually fun. I actually quite enjoy this game.
Very cool. So that is basically what you bought this week or played this week?
That is my week. I mean, there's a couple others, but I want to get a little bit more time before chatting about them.
So I think next week I'm hoping that we can talk about. Is it next week that State of Decay 2 comes out?
It is the 22nd.
Okay, so it's not next week then.
It's like 2 weeks still, I think.
Okay,
it might be the 17th.
And are you still paying for Game Pass? Yeah, so you'll get it. Awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping we can talk about that. I was trying to think the other day, like what's coming soon. I know Detroit Become Human comes out this month. State of Decay 2 is coming out, so there's 2 exclusives, one for each system. And other than that,
Sony's killing it on the exclusives based off of those 2 options.
Well, and then there's God of War, which is also a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sony is hugely killing it in terms of that. I mean, there's even fake Microsoft numbers released this week.
Well, what about Sea of Thieves? That was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, we've played that. It's not great.
I forwarded this to you in our chat offline. There was this. I laughed when I saw this. It's not funny, but I mean, well, it is funny because I laughed. It's this picture of 2 like toddlers. One is like laughing. He's leaning back and he's laughing. They look like twins. The other one has this nasty, like he's basically wailing.
Sour look.
He's wailing right? And the other kid's laughing right beside him, and underneath is one, under the laughing kid is God of War, and under the wailing kid is Sea of Thieves. I just saw that, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's funny. That's just, there's something really funny about that. Because you've got the exclusives, you've got God of War, and you've got Sea of Thieves, which, you know, I think Microsoft was banking a lot of money on, and I'm not sure it's doing nearly as well as they wanted it to.
I didn't mind Sea of Thieves. It was not a terrible game by any means, but when you're holding that up as the pillar as to what's holding
that's
the
my
Xbox
point.
Up there,
yes.
Okay, when you compare it to the exclusives that you're getting on PlayStation right now, well, it's just terrible.
So,
like, I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's not.
No, and I'm not saying it's a bad game. What I'm saying is the amount of push behind that game that Microsoft gave it with the special controllers and the special Xbox and all of the marketing that went into that game, I don't think it lived up to that push. At all.
Nope,
and
that
to me is what really kind of soured, I think, maybe a lot of people on it, because their push for that game made it seem like it was going to be like the greatest game Xbox had seen this generation.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't remember them pushing any other game like that. You know?
I mean, I've seen tons of Halo commercials when those games are out, but those are games that sell themselves almost too. Well, it's not a new IP. I've never seen them put that much effort behind a new IP.
Yeah.
Maybe Gears of War, the first Gears of War, way back. But I mean, I don't even think that they were. I don't know. It really feels forced. Yeah. It really feels forced right now. When they're saying like, "No, this is good. It's really good. You know, sit down and play it. You'll enjoy it." It's like, I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, you did. You enjoyed it. That's what we're telling you.
No, you enjoyed it. Go play again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to do better. They need another tentpole game. They need another Gears of War, another Halo, in order to get themselves back in the race. Well, right now, they are falling behind a lot.
And that's kind of why I'm hopeful for E3 for Microsoft, because, you know, with Phil Spencer saying it's going to be the biggest show yet, it's going to be, you know, huge, basically, is what he's saying. I'm like, well, I don't know what's coming, but okay.
You better have something good.
I hope they actually surprise us. I really do. I'm going to go into... and we'll talk about our E3 expectations probably as we get closer to it. But I'm going into that Microsoft presser hopeful for something exciting and something like almost like a surprise.
They can't let us down any more than they already have. So
well, that's you got a point there, right? But
it's going to be good news no matter what they announce. Let's just hope it's enough. Who
knows? I mean, Halo 6 is a possibility. Yeah. I don't know if it's too early for another Gears or not. It might not be to announce another Gears. I don't know.
Well, I mean, announcing versus when it's releasing are two different things.
But like we've been saying recently, you know, I don't want to see them announcing something that's not coming until after next year's E3. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't. And with Microsoft, that means it's going to be delayed until at least 2 E3s past then.
Well, when was Crackdown 3 announced? Wasn't it 2016 that they said it was actually going to release?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
it's been 2 years since it was initially supposed to release.
And we're still, I think June is the current.
Is there even a release date for it?
I think there may not be a solid one, but I think it's currently a June area thing, because I think they're spreading out their releases.
Maybe they'll get up on stage, they'll show us the Crackdown trailer again, and then they'll say, "Available now!" And everyone...
They've done that. I don't know, because they've done that. They did that once. Now everybody's expecting an available now thing from them every E3.
Because of the Slim. Remember the Xbox 360 Slim? Available now! And it was like everyone just went wild. You know?
Yeah. And I can't remember how I was. I think it was I was working at EB at that point. I'm like, well, I don't have any. I don't know what.
Oh, really? You didn't have any?
No, like we didn't know anything about it. It's like, well, available now in the States. In Canada, it was like
they weren't even in the store yet.
No, they turned on the pre-order just after that. So.
Oh, well, that's great. All right. Well, we're going to talk more about E3 probably as the weeks go by, and we're getting closer and closer to E3 now.
All right.
But for now, let's move on to our Lost Treasure for this week.
Lost Treasures. with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
Character mascot games often get a bad rap when people look back at the history of video games, but for me, it is easily one of my most favorite type of game. Add some interesting game mechanics into the mix and you've got something fun and engaging. Such is the case of Blinks the Time Sweeper, an original Xbox exclusive, developed by Artoon and released on October 7th, 2002. In addition to the cute and colorful graphics for the time, Blinks features various time mechanics that let you pause, rewind, and even record time to allow for different things to happen. If you die unexpectedly, you can rewind and fix your mistake. If you need to use a copy of yourself to do something, you can record yourself doing that something and then go back in time and watch a ghost version perform a task that Blinks did them first. Now, Blinks wasn't the first game with time mechanics. Games like Cat Trap on the original Game Boy did it much earlier, but the fact that the Xbox had a hard drive and a console made it much easier for developers to be able to record what you did and then let you make changes. It was definitely a case of the technology helping drive what the game was capable of. What you might not know about Blinks is that he was actually considered to be a mascot on the original Xbox. Artoon, the company that made the game, was founded and directed by character designer and Sonic creator Naoto Ashima. As the Sega legend reveals, he was considering the Xbox's significant hardware power before any kind of character concept solidified, and though the platform would be good for a cartoon-style game, this is what he came up with. Blinks was popular enough to get a sequel in 2004, the aptly named Blinks 2 Masters of Time and Space, which received similar review scores, but sales didn't go quite as well, causing Microsoft to eventually abandon the trademark and effectively the franchise in 2015. However, both games were backwards compatible on the Xbox 360, and the original game is now available to play on Xbox One. Blinks isn't really the greatest game of all time. Did you see what I did there? But it is definitely a lost treasure that many of you didn't get a chance to try the first time around, and now you can fix that. You can probably even find a physical copy of this game at a decent price and give it a try. There's no time like the present. Until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, digging up the lost treasures for you, right here on OMG Nexus and the OMG Hour.
OMG.
All right, let's talk about the news.
All right, news.
We got lots of Nintendo news this week that I found. Some interesting stuff going on. We talked last week about how they want to do mobile, 900 billion or million or something in mobile stuff. But now they want to start moving the Switch into more. They want to start targeting the non-gamer people like they did with the Wii. They want to get it,
brain age and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what they're going to do with the Switch.
Brain age. I can guarantee you, there's a brain age going to be coming out.
Oh, see, and that would be amazing. I actually loved the brain age games.
Those were so much fun.
You know, remember brain age? Remember Nintendogs? Whatever happened to Nintendogs? I mean, you could
Nintendo cats.
Nintendo cats, Nintendogs. But it makes me wonder if they're going to go with like some. They've got the 1-2-3 Switch, which is sort of along that lines of that party game, you know, the non-gamer thing. But it makes me wonder if they're going to do another Wii Sports. You know,
Wii Sports would almost be a certainty.
Yeah.
Something where you put your Switch on the ground and stand on it like a scale thing, like they had for the Wii Fit.
Let's stand on our Switch itself.
I mean, everybody who's got one at home, try that now.
See if it works.
See if it does anything, so they know that's market research for them right there.
But you didn't get that from us.
No, Jeff told you to do that, if anybody.
Wow. So they want to start moving to a Wii-like non-gamer strategy for the Switch. I mean, the Switch is doing well, but it's probably not going to meet the 100 million sold that the Wii had.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what they want to do, is they want to move to that market and see if they can't move more.
Get a few more out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, actually, honestly, the Labo thing is sort of along that lines.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't quite get it for Labo. Like it does.
No.
I'm not the target for that.
No, I mean
I
that's
don't know-
just they're
I don't know if
literally
it is,
they're
but-
literally printing money with that.
Yeah.
Well, they're printing cardboard and saying, "Hey, you want this?" You know, think about all of the games that used to come with plastic controllers. Now they just need to give you cardboard.
Yep.
You know,
here's some cardboard.
Yeah, imagine the return on investment on that. That's
Yeah. So for work, we actually set up some Nintendo Labo displays, and I'm like, I should just hang on to one of these things and sell it as a collector's edition Labo kit because it's all cardboard.
Right.
It all came in cardboard boxes. So
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, here's a special edition.
Yeah. In other Nintendo news, they have outlined what their online component is going to be. The Nintendo Switch Online, which is coming a year after it was originally supposed to. So it's launching in September of this year. First of all, it's going to be $20 US or $25 Canadian for the year. I believe it's or $5 a month.
Well, that's bad math if you do it monthly.
Right? It's $5 a month. I think $15 for 4 months, I think, and then $25 for the year. Why would you just not pay $25 for the year? What is 1 month going to do you, honestly?
Well, it's the same math that they use for EA Access too. It's $30 for the year or $5 a month.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
it makes no sense. Some of the things they're giving cloud saves for your games.
About time.
Right?
About time for them. I mean, the number of when we worked at EB, the number of people who came in with a broken Wii or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, how do I get my game stuff? The stuff I purchased on the store transferred over. It's like, well,
yeah.
Here's a phone number. Be prepared for a long and drawn out process. Enjoy that.
Yeah, right. So Nintendo Switch Online, which the company has been teasing for well over a year, as we just said, will include an unexpected save data cloud backup feature. So it wants to warn that cloud saves will only be available for most games, in quotes, for most games, with no details about the ones that will be left out. Subscription service will also be required to play online modes of games such as Splatoon and ARMS, which I guess is to be... I think we knew that going into it, that eventually you would need it to play online with people. The other thing, too, is that, as previously promised, Switch Online subscribers will also get unlimited access to emulated versions of 20 NES games at launch, with more added regularly after that. The first 10 of those NES games that will be available at launch is Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Dr. Mario, Ice Climber, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3. What happened to Super Mario Brothers? Is there a Super Mario Brothers 2?
Yeah, that's the weird one. It's the different Mario type one. It's the one that's all side-scrolling. You play as Princess and Toad as well.
Oh, maybe it's not as popular. That's why it goes straight to 3.
It was not as I enjoyed it, but it was not as popular.
And rounding off that list is tennis. Very important game. Tennis.
Just tennis?
Tennis. So here's the thing. What I've been reading about this is that these aren't just... I don't think they're going to be like just straight up virtual console style games. What I've been reading is that they're doing sort of a... I don't know what term to give it. Like almost like a remaster version. Like they're kind of up-resing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're redesigning it. But
adding one bit to
one
each
extra
game.
bit. They're adding one extra bit to these 4-bit games. So it's going to be a 5-bit game. Yeah, so you're going to get games for the original NES, unlimited access to them, which is cool. Because originally, of course, Virtual Console, you had to purchase each game.
Yeah.
This will be, you have access to it as long as you have a $25 a year subscription.
Now, are they going to rotate them out the way sort of Game Pass does?
No idea. All it says is you're going to have access to 20 games at launch, with more added regularly. Also, classic games that were originally designed for 2 players will be playable with friends online, while single-player modes can be shared through online spectator and pass the controller features. So they're adding more to these games. So it's not literally not just a virtual console. They are adding online functionality to them to make them work on the Switch itself. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's $4 a month. This is American. $4 a month, $8 for 3 months, or $20 a year. You can also upgrade to a family membership for $35 a year, which allows you to have, I think, something like up to, I don't know how many, 10, I think I read.
It's a big family.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
and now, do they have to be, like, could you and I go in on something like that? Is that, like, how will they know?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Like, is there a system to stop that? Like, or is it just the honor system? How do they work? We need to know this stuff. Come on, Nintendo.
Right?
Tell us more.
I meant to get something out to show you here. Nintendo is being sued by alleging design infringements. They're being sued by Gamevice. The Gamevice is a controller, basically, that attaches to either side of an iOS or an Android phone.
Oh, okay, I remember that. I think we sold those at EB.
And I have one. If you just give me a second, I think I can find it. If I remember where I put it. There it is. I have it. It's right here. Sorry about that, audio listeners. So, this is the Gamevice. It's basically, for those listening to the audio podcast, it just looks like two Joy-Con controllers that you attach to the side of a phone. So the phone attaches in between, and you essentially have two controllers on either side of your device. This particular one is for an iPhone. I mean, to give you an idea of what it kind of looks like, I'll just mock it up on my phone here. But the idea is you have basically a controller on either side of your phone, and you can play games that are made for Gamevice using full-on controllers. And so Nintendo is being sued by Gamevice because of this device, because this essentially came out before the Switch did, and they have a patent on essentially putting controllers on either side of a mobile device. And I remember actually thinking that when the Switch was announced, I'm thinking, but that's exactly... I had the Gamevice already when the Switch was announced, and I'm thinking, but they literally just did what Gamevice has done, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely get them. Like, this is not a patent troll. A lot of people, a lot of patent trolls are out there, and they want to sue all these companies for patents. But this is a legitimate patent infringement, in my opinion, anyway. And we'll see where that goes. The only thing that I think is dumb is that in its complaint with the ITC, Gamevice is asking that the commission issue orders blocking the import of Nintendo Switches into the country. Really?
That's just, take your little bit of blood money you're going to get out of this deal and be happy with it.
That's what I'm thinking. You know what? Yeah, okay. Sure. Sue Nintendo for patent infringement. Make them give you money.
Yeah.
Stopping the sales of the Switch only harms the gamers. It only harms the industry is what I mean. Sorry. It harms the industry.
Yeah.
Get them to pay you royalties or something.
Gamevice does it, they probably don't have the money for a long drawn out battle either, so they're gonna
they don't, I'm sure.
I mean, Nintendo probably just gonna buy them up. It's fine, we'll just buy your company, then we'll own the patent.
Yeah, maybe. Right? But yeah, I did think of that when the Switch was announced, that this is very much the way they're doing the Joy-Cons is very much like the Gamevice. And I kind of wondered, how do they get away with that? But obviously they can't, or they're not going to, or they're going to, who knows?
We'll see what the ruling ends up being. I mean, maybe there's enough differences in it that they'll determine it's not infringement on the patent too. Perhaps.
I'm trying to see exactly what the complaint is. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the patent is in it's pertaining to, but I don't know. It seems legit anyway. This is not just a frivolous case which we've seen in the past. It is It's
I think it is a
legitimate.
frivolous case. I do think it is a frivolous case. They have a legitimate argument, but
That's
it's still
what I'm
a
saying.
frivolous case.
I think it's a legitimate argument, but I think what they're asking is going too far. You know, preventing the sale or the import of the Switch into the country. I think they should just be asking for damages. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on. This is an interesting article, came out today. There's job listings out there for Microsoft that points to Xbox cloud streaming future. And this just got me thinking. We have a link to it in the show notes, which I discovered I can actually put links in the YouTube description, so I will continue to put links directly into the description right here on YouTube. So they're hiring people to do cloud streaming stuff. And this got me thinking, how cool would it be if you could stream any game you own anywhere you are to any device you have? Imagine being anywhere and pulling out your phone, connecting an Xbox One controller to it, and streaming your Xbox games from the cloud to your phone.
Yeah. Having that full experience as a mobile experience. I mean, the only downside to that is our terrible internet stuff that we've got here.
Well, see, I was talking about this with the guys at work today, and it's a cool proposition. But we've said this before that, and a lot of people have done it. There's been streaming games. PlayStation Now is streaming, so there are solutions. I just don't understand the solutions. But it's also that lag. Like, I mean, if there's any lag between your actions and the stream, then it's basically game over, right? There needs to be zero latency control communication. So when I press a button on the controller, it needs to react immediately.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know how that works. Like zero lag video streaming, it really is what we're talking about. Right? If the Azure cloud, Microsoft's cloud, is doing all the computations of the game itself, and then just streaming that video signal to your device, how is there no lag between a button press here, sending it to the Azure cloud reacting and sending that resulting signal back to your phone? How could there be zero lag between that? That I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? Because if there's any lag between that, the game would be practically impossible to play.
Oh yeah, and I mean, God forbid you're playing something online or something like that, like an actual multiplayer game.
Not even online, but a shooter.
Yeah.
If there's any lag on a shooter, you're dead.
Yeah, you're done.
Right?
Immediately.
Brian, Juggler of Geese, says this would never work on his current internet.
No, it would work just fine. I mean, he'd shoot a bad guy, and he can come back a week later to see if he hit him or not.
See if he hit him, exactly. Wow. We love you, Brian. But I'm just thinking, even for the future of gaming, I think that is an awesome thing to think about. To think that you could pull up an Xbox app on your phone and actually play your Xbox games wherever you are.
Yeah.
That's kind of I love that idea. I love that proposition.
Or your VR headset, just
out on the beach. I saw a picture the other day. Oh my gosh, it was classic. It showed this kid, it was an actual picture. This kid was sitting on a beach with VR goggles on. And then beside him was this image of Minecraft, of him at the beach in Minecraft. I'm like, wow, that is a commentary on
and how old does it say that I am, that my immediate thought were what kind of tan lines you're going to end up with that thing on your head.
Right? That was hilarious. Anyway, I like that proposition. I think that would be amazing to play your console no matter where you are on any console.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need good bandwidth. You definitely need zero latency bandwidth. And I don't know if that's possible yet.
Or at least, I mean, if possible, it's not affordable where we are, at least.
Right. I mean, and I'm thinking like like I'm going on vacation at the end of July back up to Tobermory, which is my family's most favorite place in the world to be. And, our campsite has Wi-Fi available when you're in the campsite. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have my Switch with me, which is great. But imagine if I could play my PlayStation while I'm there.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Without having to get a game case type thing and haul the whole thing there.
Right. No, just there's my phone, take my PlayStation controller with me.
Yeah.
And play. It would be cool. Yeah, it's a small screen, but maybe I do it on an iPad or something. I don't know. But the idea.
if you're going to do this, it's any screen. You could get a projector.
That's what I'm saying. Any screen.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Any screen with internet capability. It has to be connected.
Connect your phone to a projector.
Oh my gosh!
And the projector could then. There's a whole.
Sure.
Listen, it could happen.
I thought you were talking about traveling with nothing. Now you're talking about traveling with a projector.
You can get the little tiny ones.
Okay.
It's almost nothing.
All right, let's move on. This piece of news was cool, and it made me think of Jeff. And I'm sad he's not here to comment on this because. If you'll remember, several months ago when Jeff and I were talking about Star Wars Bridge Crew, the VR game, which is now available as a non-VR game, should you want to play it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's available as non-VR now. And you can still play with people who are in VR, as far as I'm aware.
Cool.
So, one of the complaints Jeff had, if you remember, was, why is this not on one of the most famous Star Trek ships, the Enterprise D from the Next Generation? Why is it made up USS Aegis, and then there's the original 1966 Enterprise, this beast right here, this guy behind me.
Yeah.
And he says, why is there no Enterprise D? Because that's essentially what people want to play.
They want to play the show.
Sure enough, on May 22nd, I believe, there is DLC coming for Star Trek Bridge Crew that gives you more missions, and those missions take place on the Enterprise D.
Is it free DLC? Or
as far as I'm aware, it is a free DLC. I'm not sure if the article says that. It's a good question. The other thing that this gives is another position on the bridge. There is now the operations position, which you have to organize who goes on what missions type thing. You have to organize the personnel. Okay. Right, so because on the Enterprise D there are more positions than there are on the original Enterprise, so they add a fifth position. I'm just trying to find it in the article if I can find that real quick. One of the missions you're going to work on, or the missions you can, is one's called Patrol, the other is Resistance, which will include Borg. You'll have to fight off the Borg in Resistance, which is really cool. The Patrol is an ongoing, basically like a free play. You can just travel the quadrant, discover missions to do, and it's sort of an unending mission. You can just discover things to do and do them, and then you can move along to other things and do whatever you want, which I think is great, because when you jump in the ship, you just want to play. You know, regardless of, doing a mission, then going back to the menu, then doing another mission. I just want to, let me go discover stuff to do, the ongoing voyages type thing. So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to that. I was hoping Jeff would be here to comment, because he's the one who said, why is the Enterprise D not in this game? Well, now it will be on May 22nd, so coming up very soon.
Cool.
All right, and speaking of new stuff coming to games, did you ever play Rage?
I did, actually. I'm a big fan of Rage.
Me too. I loved Rage. Rage did not do well. It's an id Software game.
No, it did not sell well. It
did so poorly that John Carmack had to actually apologize for the game.
So I think it was another one of those ones, though, that the marketing for the game didn't match the final product. So they sort of marketed, I remember tons of the marketing and everything like that, it sort of made it feel like it was like the next BioShock type open worldy type of thing, but it was not anywhere close to that.
No. So this was a game that came and went, and no one really thought of it since. I loved Rage. I felt when I played it all the way through, and I thought it ended really quickly.
It was short, too. It was a short title.
It was short, and it feels like it just ended, and I wasn't expecting that ending.
Yeah.
I seem to remember thinking that, but I still loved the game. I thought it was really well done. But it was panned by critics. John Carmack actually apologized for the game at QuakeCon, in the QuakeCon 2012 keynote.
Yeah.
Recently, Walmart Canada posted a listing for Rage 2.
Amongst other titles that were posted as well.
Oh, were there others as well?
Yeah, I believe there was a Forza Horizon 5.
Oh my!
So it's so
what?
well they skipped 4.
They skipped 4.
Went straight to 5.
Wow. So Walmart Canada had a posting for Rage 2, which is not officially announced. But here's the thing: neither Bethesda nor Rage, one, they haven't denied it. Instead of denying it, the official Rage Twitter actually retweeted it, or they didn't retweet. They put out, said, "Hey Walmart, here are a few notes," and there is a screenshot of the listing,
Which is like a black dummy box.
It's a black dummy box with just the word Rage 2 on it, right?
Yeah.
And then they marked it all up, said incorrect key art. They circled the name, and they said wrong font, not all in caps. Down below it said missing age rating, and then they put the Anarchy logo on the side of it there. Like,
which is important to notice too. They have that Twitter has been inactive.
Yes.
For a number of years as well. So nobody's actually tweeted out of that account for a number of years. So this is what they decided to come back with.
Exactly, and I thought that's hilarious. It's not a denial. It's also not a confirmation. But not only that, but Bethesda's Pete Hines retweeted the image and responded to a fan's question about another game with a similar tone. And the question was, Pete, where's the next Doom? Pete Hines comes back and says, go buy a Magic 8-Ball at Walmart and ask it. Yeah. So,
well, I think even better to that. So after the Rage comment, that they posted, Bethesda responded to that with just the word "dude."
Dude, right, like, dude. That's
like,
right.
Come on, like you keep it. Like this is supposed to be quiet. Why are you responding to rumors?
It's so great that they took that approach instead of just denying stuff. Like they're not confirming it, nor are they denying it. They're creating excitement. I think And
so if they haven't started on that game, they should start now.
Well,
so they have what, a month to get something ready for to show us.
Well, who knows what's coming at E3, right? I mean, maybe they're going to announce a Rage 2, which I'd be thrilled with because I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, and Forza Horizons 4 and 5.
Forza Horizon 5 only. They're going to skip 4 completely.
Skip 4?
Yeah, because 3 was so good. There's no point in coming out to a sequel to 3. They might as well just straight to 5, right? So
I at this point I think they'd be silly not to.
Obviously.
But I would love it if one of these companies with one of these leaked things just kept the Walmart box art as their official game art.
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
just a solid black cover with the name of the game written on it.
No, with their highlights too, with the pink circle.
Oh yeah.
With all the notes on it. I think that should be the cover.
That should be their box art. I mean, Walmart does this leading into E3 to try to prep for pre-orders of stuff. Whether or not these things have been officially announced or not, they're putting it on their website. They're trying to prep things to get on their website to be ready for it. And somebody probably hit a button to post instead of save for later.
Yeah, no, what they're doing is I think what happens, they've added it to their database.
Yeah.
Just, like you said, to prep for E3, and somebody accidentally launched it or made it active.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody clicked the active button, however their system works. I mean, it's Walmart.
And it's Walmart Canada.
You and I know a lot about the insides of Walmart.
Yes.
My wife and my daughter work there. Your company works with Walmart. Yeah. We've seen stuff that go on behind the scenes at Walmart. So, yeah. All right, we got a couple more things to talk about, which is good. We weren't sure if we'd get through tonight without Jeff.
We made it.
We made it and almost.
We filled the whole hour-ish.
And you've talked a lot.
I did. It's weird. My throat's sore. I don't know what to do with myself.
That's a topic for another show. Finally, Square Enix has announced they're going to have a showcase at E3.
Oh, they're going to do their own little thing.
They haven't done... Square Enix has not had a showcase at E3, I think, in 3 years. And they're having one this year. So obviously they've got a lot of stuff coming. Probably Final Fantasy VII again, maybe another announcement when that's coming. Of course, what's the new Tomb Raider?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Is it Shadow?
I don't know. I think it's Shadow of the
Shadow
Tomb Raider.
Maybe it is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think you're right, because Rise was the second one.
I just feel like it's too simple a title, and I'm missing something. But
no,
I think that's
pretty sure it's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Again, they announced it like not even a month ago, and it's coming in September, which is great timing. But they'll be showing it off. They'll show some gameplay at E3. Sorry, that's Square Enix. I was thinking Bethesda in my head there for a second.
No, that's...
I don't know what else. Oh, maybe a new
Kingdom Hearts.
They've got that coming.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3.
So Square Enix, they've got a big year ahead of them. So obviously that's why they're going to have a new a showcase. And what is the date on it? Let me pull that up. I should have had
June 11th at 10 a.m. Whatever PDT is.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern. So.
Yeah, and they had a stupid. Sorry about that, audio listeners. Autoplay videos. I hate them.
Oh, those should be outlawed.
I know.
They always play at full volume too.
I know, right? Really loud. Anyway, I have one last thing to talk about because I think this is exciting. We haven't had a campaign corner in a very long time. In fact, I don't think we've had a campaign corner since you started the show.
I don't recall this. I don't know what this is. So this is a new thing. I mean, it seems neat.
A campaign corner is when we talk about a neat Kickstarter campaign that we came across. Well, I came across one. I've been getting emails about it for the last month or so. It went live this week. It's a company called BestKey. And this is an accessory for your Switch that triples your Switch gaming time. It's basically, think of it as a portable battery for your Switch. But the neat thing about it, it's not just a battery. It includes ergonomic handles on the side, which gives you like an Xbox or PlayStation style controller when paired with the Joy-Cons. So you now have a full grip for your hand, and then you can reach in to click the buttons instead of being cramped up on the Switch like we do normally on the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So while this is attached, giving you triple the battery power, battery time, you also have a pro controller style grip on it. I backed it. I'm getting the one with that comes with not just the oh man, my brain is going, not just the BestKey itself. It's called BestKey Power Case, but it also comes with a carry case that carries the BestKey itself plus your Switch, plus it's got slots for games, plus a stand for playing the Switch like on a tabletop, right? A portable. It's basically two pieces of plastic that go flat together, and then they kind of interlink with each other to create a stand. I'm not really showing it very well, but
no.
If you just look for BestKey on Kickstarter, I will have a link to it in the show notes. I backed it. I thought it was a pretty reasonable price for that. Everything I just mentioned, the BestKey power, the case itself, plus the stand for $65 US.
Yeah, and it's already met its goal. So
it has already met its goal. Free shipping to Canada, the US,
Japan,
Australia,
South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Macau, and Hong Kong. And
Hong Kong, yeah, free shipping. So $65 US. I thought that's a really reasonable ask.
Yeah,
$65, and I think it is going to retail that same package for $120 US. So about half price you're getting it for by backing it. I think there's a few left. There are 47 left at that price. There are other quantities where you can get just the BestKey itself. You can get one with just the BestKey and the case, etc. There's a couple of tiers, not a lot. This is what I like about it. There's I think there's 3, maybe 4 tiers to choose from. Very simple. Check out the video. I thought it was, I think it's great, and I'm thinking more because, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going on vacation up to Tobermory, and we're planning to we're going for a week this time, so we're planning to just take it easy and have a couple days where we just relax at the campsite for the day.
Yeah.
And what
I like that stand too. That's a cool looking stand.
It's a nice looking stand. It's very simple, very easy to use. And I'm thinking, wow, what a great thing to have when I'm camping. I mean, I'm not going to have it by the time I camp. They're looking... Oh, estimated delivery July. Who knows? Maybe I will have it by the time I go camping at the end of July.
You won't. You won't. It'll be in your mailbox when you get home.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, check out the link in the show notes. If you have a Switch, go check it out, because I think we've all found that the Switch dies at the most inopportune time, especially when you're traveling with it. It really 3 hours is not a long time to play the Switch for. So something that increases it to 9 or 10 hours, yeah, for $65, absolutely. And the fact that it comes with a full case to carry it around with, it doesn't make it inconvenient to have. So that pretty much brings us to the end of episode number 295. So Tico,
yes,
do you have anything to say?
You mean the stuff that I'm supposed to say that's written down here?
I don't know. Do you have anything to say?
Well, the stuff that I have to say, because it's at the end of the show. I'm going to make you keep stopping drinking your drink.
Then why aren't you saying it?
I'm going to right now. Calm down.
You should say it now. Now. Go now. Go now. You haven't frozen, Tico. I know you haven't frozen. Oh, maybe he has actually frozen. Did I just lose Tico? Or is he being, like, super still? I think I lost Tico. Oh my gosh. Tico, come on! I don't know what's going on, folks. I'm just going to be silent for a second. Alright, well, I think I've lost Tico. I don't know why. Oh, I did lose him completely. Oh, okay. That's hilarious. You can look at my Skype window instead. That was Mr. Second Place. Follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. Watch us Thursdays here on YouTube, 6 p.m. live, youtube.com/OMG Nexus. Like, subscribe, comment. It helps us out, obviously, with our channel. I am Zion Tane. That's Xiantayne. Our gaming archaeologist is Sid Bolton, and you can follow him on Twitter at Sid Bolton. And of course, Cynix, who's not here, you can follow him on Twitter because he's like super active. That's SINNIX. And of course, show notes are at omgnexus.com, as well as right here in the show notes on YouTube. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for... Oh, now he's calling back. Welcome back, Tico. I just finished the show. Oh, you're on your phone.
You finished it?
Yeah. What'd you do, lose internet?
That was good time for it to freeze altogether.
Did you lose internet? What happened?
That my computer crashed. It completely froze.
Oh my god. I was sitting here thinking you were joking around. No. Anyway, we're done. Say goodnight, say goodbye, and we're done. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.